Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Legacy and Legends podcast. I am so excited to introduce you to my guest today. He is one of my favorite Stories to Success clients. He is a highly accomplished author, and you are in for a real treat. So I'm going to open up the stage and welcome Gordon. How are you? I'm so happy you're here.
It's nice to be here. Thank you, Trina, for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And will you please let our audience know where you're checking in from? It's kind of cool to see all the places all over the world.
I am from upstate New York. I live in a little town called Trumansburg. It's in the Finger Lakes region of New York. It's currently snowing like mad right here. But I'm originally from Louisiana. So
very cool.
Okay. Southern boy.
Crawfish, right?
Oh, got it.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, I'm in Branson, Missouri. Most of you guys know that. So we're going to do our live show here today. And the first part, we kind of just play some warm-up questions so people get to know you. So Gordon, what is your favorite song?
My favorite song? I am a music lover and have been since I literally was 3 years old. My parents told stories of me demanding to have records put on the record player when I was 3.
Love it.
My favorite song right now, I'm going to go with No Bad Days by Bastille.
Ooh, I'm going to listen to that.
It's a really, really beautiful song. And the video is stupendous that they did. It tells a story, and it's just really amazing. Yeah.
I'm writing this down. No Bad Days by who?
Bastille.
Bastille. Okay.
Everybody all of their stuff's great.
Sweet. We will check that out. Okay. So you're going to love this one. What first inspired you to write?
When I was in first grade, I was quite a shy kid. I'm still quite a shy kid, actually. But I was really, really an introvert when I was little, and I was assigned by my first grade teacher to write a little story and illustrate it, and so the whole class did it. And then we were going to take turns and get up and read them, and I was terrified. I was shaking in my shoes. I got up there, but I did it. I got up there, and then everybody was smiling and laughing in all the right places. And when they were done, they applauded. And I thought, I want to do this forever.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I've been writing stories ever since.
I love it. That makes me so happy. And I'm so grateful to your teacher for like elevating that and helping you bring that out, because you do that so well for others. How about what age did you first publish?
My first published book was when I was 54. So it's called Kill Switch. It's a thriller. And so I had queried for many, many, many years unsuccessfully, and finally found a publisher.
Nice. You know what? I love to hear that, because as I look over here, oh yes. Look, you guys, Gordon's on my shelf. I collect my favorite authors, so super cool. And I just love the work you do. And hearing you say that, I'm like, that makes me even more excited for my daughter, because when she read that book is when she was like, ooh, I really love this author. And it actually encouraged her. Like, she started writing her own stories. So see, look at your impact.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I was impressed. I'm like, very fun. How about, what is your writing process for developing a new book?
I am in writing circles, they have what are called planners and what are called pantsers. People who fly by the seat of the pants. I am very much a pantser. So I am not somebody who outlines. I don't tend to. I mean, I usually have a beginning and an end. I know where I'm starting and I know where I'm headed for. How I'm going to get there, I sort of make the path as I go, I guess. And I find out about the characters as I go. And there are things about the stories that always surprise me. When I'm following that path through, there are things that I didn't plan for, and to me, that's when the magic happens.
Yeah, I love that so much. Oh my gosh, I'm excited for my daughter to meet you. It's cool. And what advice do you have for beginning authors?
Write lots. Write every day. It's like anything. People have this attitude that, I've got a good idea for a story. I should be able to sit down and write a wonderful novel right out of the starting gate. And that's no more true than you would expect to sit down at a piano and play a Bach partita perfectly the first time. Writing there's a lot of it that's creativity, and there's a lot of it that's inspiration, and that's maybe, I don't know if it can be taught, but it seems like it would be hard to be taught. But there are skills that are involved as well. And those skills can be learned and can be refined. And so if you want to write well, keep writing and read. That's the other thing. So when people say, what do I do to become a better writer? Write and read and just doing it. And even read lots of things outside of the genre you write in. Even if you don't like something, keep reading it and figure out why you don't like it. What about the story didn't work? Because all of those things then you can put in your mental file cabinet, and you can keep that information, and that will inform your own writing.
That is awesome. That's such a good, I see that too, because I wonder, I'm like, man, my kids are so good. I love writing educational nonfiction, but they love fiction stories, and they read a ton of fiction, and like the big books where I'm just like, how are you doing that? But they just eat them up. And so I think you're right. It develops their language skills, right? Communication and descriptive language and characters.
But don't tell them to also read nonfiction. Because that will inform the background of their stories. And a good example is my novel Gears came out of a Scientific American article.
Oh, okay.
I'm fascinated with archaeology. My background is actually in historical linguistics, and so anything back in the day is going to be interesting to me.
Yeah.
There was an article in Scientific American many years ago about something called the Antikythera mechanism, which was they call it an antique computer. It was a device for calculating dates and keeping track of eclipses and keeping track of movements of planets and so on. It had all sorts of interlocking gears, and it was found on a shipwreck, pieces of it. And they were talking about unearthing this and bringing it back to the surface and cleaning it up and trying to figure out how it went together and what it did. And that reading about that is what spurred my novel Gears. So it was this completely, technical article on archaeology that then generated a work of fiction. So reading nonfiction is also really important. It gives you background.
I love it. One, I think too adds the element of real, right? So you really understand, and people can experience and relate to it, which makes a connection with the reader. That's awesome. I love that. How about, okay, for my own research for a book I'm still working on, I ask all of my guests this question. If you were going to create a hashtag and send it to your younger self that would have served you well in your journey, what would it be?
Hashtag take more risks.
I'm sure there is a lot that we could talk about on that one. That's a good one. Take more risks. Very cool. That's important because it is. If you try things, I mean, I think it's interesting with my husband and I, because like for me, I'm not afraid to try something. Like I have an idea, I want to do it. Like I'll create events, I'll do these things. Now, other things, if I try it and I don't like it, like I don't want to keep doing that thing. But other people are even afraid to try. They won't even try it once. Oh, okay.
That was me when I was young. I avoided emotional risks. I played it safe. And because of it, I a lot of times let myself get taken advantage of. I found other people's needs, desires, dreams all took precedence over mine. And it took me, that was a long time. It took me to learn how to be assertive and how to pursue my own desires, pursue my own dreams.
Oh, I love that. I love that because that's the thing. You get to be happy too. I'm one of those like ultimate man. I grew up trying to make everybody happy, and you get to a point where I burn out, honestly, where it's like I crash because you can't. It's not possible to make everybody happy. Like they have to be happy and create that for themselves. But if you're operating from a place of loving who you are and at peace with who you are, and you're doing your best, right? You can always do better. But to me, it was like that gave me peace. Like if I'm happy, it flows from there, and then I can abundantly help others,
That's right. Yes.
Super cool. Okay. With your background and experience, do you recommend self-publishing or traditional publishing, and why?
If you'd asked me this 2 years ago, I would have had an answer. Traditional publishing, I'll put it this way. They both have advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah.
So which one you choose to pursue depends on what your own needs and your own abilities and talents are outside of writing. For myself, for example, I have a really hard time self-promoting. And so that's why I sought out traditional publishing. If you find a good publisher, they don't do all the promotion for you. You're certainly expected to pony up and help out. But it's a situation where they already have that bank of expertise of how to
Gotcha.
get your novel out there.
Mm-hmm.
Self-publishing, it's all on you.
Right.
And so the thing about self-publishing, the advantage there is you also have all the control.
Mm-hmm.
So with most publishers, and the 2 publishers I've worked with, I've lucked out in this respect, that they gave me free reign with titles.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expected to do huge changes to plots and that sort of thing. They
Yeah.
really trusted my creative vision of the story. I had a lot of input with covers.
Yeah.
That is not the rule.
Mm-hmm.
Many publishers will say, "You don't like this cover? Tough."
Mm-hmm.
That's our wheelhouse. That is not your. You
Uh-huh.
not like it, but that's not. You don't have any say in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I know people who've even had their titles changed without their permission.
Mm.
And to me, a title of a book is really, really important.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
Well, and then
so
also just your work changed. I remember I worked for a traditional publisher for a while, and it was frustrating because, like, well, I got paid well to write articles for them. At the end, I'm like, this doesn't even sound like the piece I submitted. Like, my name's on it, but it.
And right now, I'm mostly self-publishing, and so I have a lot of creative control. I'm
Yeah.
lucky. My wife is an artist, and so she designs
Mhm.
my covers, and they're beautiful.
Fantastic.
And I don't think that's just bias.
Yeah, they
The
are.
covers she's designed have really been gorgeous, and
Mhm.
so and she's also helping me with the part that I don't do well, which is getting things out there.
Yeah.
And I'm not very good at promoting my own stuff. So
Mhm. I'm excited to talk with you more about that, Gordon, because like I said, there's always perks for being one of my stories to success family community members, and marketing and sales are my jam. Like helping you get out there, helping people know, so we can work on some of that. And the work you do in that process, we're going to talk about that a little bit more because I know you have a really cool program. So will you talk a little bit more about that, this passion for helping people who want to be authors, and what is your signature program?
yeah, I'd be glad to. My program is called Pen and Think.
So
It
cool.
is on my website, which I'll give you information about
Yeah.
at the end. And what I do is I have a mentorship program for fiction writers.
Cool.
And what I do is, and they're of varying lengths. I have a number of different programs,
Mhm.
anything from 4 weeks to a whole year. My year-long program, I call it Zero to Novel.
Oh, nice.
From a blank page to a publishing ready novel in a year.
Fantastic.
And so what I do is I work with people to not only come up with good characters and come up with a good plot line, but also the mechanics of writing. I help
Mhm.
them with getting dialogue put together in such a way that a publisher's going to look at it and say, yeah, that looks polished, because
Yeah.
there are some industry standards for that sort of thing that
Mhm.
somebody who is new to writing might not know,
Yeah.
and are easy things to do once you know to do them.
Right.
And that's the kind of thing that, having been in this business for a while, I now have that expertise that I would love to share with other people.
That's fantastic. And just to help establish your authority in that, Gordon, how many published books do you have now?
22.
Oh my gosh. So you got even 5 more since we talked last. It's you
Yeah,
guys, Gordon is amazing. I just have to say 22 published books.
yeah.
Head
My
off.
book number 22 came out yesterday.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Well, okay. So in this episode, we're going to make sure to have your links and comments and book links and everything down below so people can go and buy your books and write reviews and jump into your programs if they want. We'll make that super easy for you guys, audience, to click on that. Okay, so you can get access to that. That's amazing. 22. I've never met somebody with that many published books. That's awesome. We have to come up with a special award for that. That's seriously, we're doing some shout outs. See, this is the thing, you guys. Gordon's amazing, but he has such a sweet spirit. And when you're not, a lot of us have been raised, right, to don't shine too bright, don't share your stuff like it's bragging. But the thing is, you do such cool things. And so I am going to help spread the word about you, because this is why I love to do this podcast. We get to spotlight amazing people all over the world. And when you have 22 published books, like your authority of knowing how to get that done, knowing how to publish, the process, and it's not like nobody reads them. I mean, Gordon, like, tell me a little bit about your blog so people can understand what that's about.
I've written a blog called Skeptophilia. I started it in 2010, I think.
Mm.
I think it's 2010. And I started out a little slow, but then I geared up pretty quickly. And since probably 2013 or so, I've been writing on it fairly faithfully 6 days a week.
Wow.
I just I'm approaching 4 million lifetime hits. I get about 300 to 500 hits a day, something like that. I write on topics of
You get the sparkle. You get all the sparkle. That is epic.
of science and critical thinking. I look at pseudoscience and odd beliefs. There's all kinds of stuff, social issues. So it's kind of all over the map, but it's gotten to be a pretty popular blog.
That is fantastic. And are you doing anything to monetize your blog yet?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna connect you. I'm gonna connect you when we hop off this recording to something.
I had an Amazon Associates link
Yeah.
that I did, but not to slam Amazon, but they made it so difficult to include links that I just stopped doing it.
Oh, they do. Yeah, that happened to us too. It's ridiculous. This is a better way. No worries. I'm going to connect you.
They had a system that worked really well. I had a book of the week, and I was an Amazon recommender, and and then they changed the system, and it became so completely Byzantine trying to figure out how to get the link posted that I just threw my hands up and said, I forget it. I'm not making enough off of this to make it worth it.
Right. Anyway, yeah, that's frustrating. I mean, having things be simple and streamlined, a lot of people miss that. One clear result, one clear path to get a result. Yeah. It works. Why mess with something that's working?
Exactly.
All right. So, what is the best way you have found to promote your books?
That's still a work in progress. We are working on doing promotions through something called BookFunnel.
Yeah.
And BookFunnel does regular promotions. I think they're weekly promotions. And we've done several BookFunnel promotions, and those have been pretty successful. Another really good one, if you can get into it, is BookBub.
Mm.
BookBub, though, is very competitive.
Yeah.
And it does cost, but it is, when it works, it is fantastic. Nice. I had a BookBub promotion on my very first book, Kill Switch. After I had like 3 or 4 more out, my publisher said, "Hey, you want to put in Kill Switch for a BookBub promotion, and then hopefully you'll get some feedback from to your other books." So we put in BookBub, Kill Switch for BookBub. It got in, and it was downloaded 76,000 times.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Gordon. So this is like authors making money, which people don't believe it's true, but it's true.
I couldn't believe it. I was looking at the numbers.
76,000. Rock on.
He kept emailing me. It's like, it's up to 10,000. It's up to 15,000. And it seemed like every 20 minutes I was getting another email updating this. And the whole thing, and that was in a week.
That's fun. Ding, ding, ding.
And of course, because then people read it, and I got lots and lots of good reviews, and then people bought my other books. So it had an influence on the other books. So while BookBub promotions are either that one we did for free, it was a free download, but you can do free or discounted, like 99 cent book promotions through BookBub. But when you do that, if you get in, once you have a couple of other things that are then full price, those tend to sell well.
Oh, that's awesome. Very good to know. So maybe the one you just said, that one's called
BookBub, B-U-B.
Okay.
The other thing we've done is I have, and this is a bit of a trial balloon. We're trying this out. I have a number of short stories and novellas, and short stories and novellas are notoriously hard to get publishers interested in. They just don't tend to sell well, even like short story collections and that sort of thing. They're not big sellers usually. So we're using those as free promotions.
Smart.
So we're taking those shorter pieces. Carol's designing a quick cover for them, and we're throwing them out there as ebooks, and then that will hopefully lead people to my other books as well. So we're trying a number of
different. We can talk more. Marketing and promotion is like, I love it so much,
and that's my week.
Hey, that's why we're part of why we're friends, right? It helps.
Yeah. That don't toot your own horn lesson got drilled into me.
Whoever, teachers, parents, don't tell your kids that. Like literally, I always try to look at the scripture where it's like, you don't want to put your candle under a basket, right? we're supposed to share that, because how many more people can we help if we all know what our skills and talents are? And to me, then it's like part of that pay it forward. You know, I love to like pay love forward. What can you do? And you find someone that maybe it's not your strength, but someone else it's theirs, and you can like crisscross or, you know, relationship building and help each other. So I'm so glad that you were willing to come on the podcast and let us spotlight you, because this to me is helping pull that candle out from under the basket and lighting the world with all these amazing cool things you do. So
one of my grandmother's favorite quotes was, "It's better to light a single candle than to sit and curse the darkness."
oh, is that gorgeous? Wow.
Yeah.
I have to
Yeah,
write that
my
one
grandma
down.
was very dear to my heart. She was one of the real
Aw.
formative influences to my life. And
Thank you for sharing that. That
yeah,
makes me, oh, you say that again. I love it so much.
it's better to light a single candle than to sit and curse the darkness.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Your grandma and mine would have got along. One of my grandma had passed away from dementia a couple of years ago, but even when I got to talk to her towards the end, she's still saying "You are my sunshine" to me.
Oh, that's so
She
sweet.
would always be like, I don't know all these people, but they sure do love me, and they're sure nice to me. I'd have little windows where my grandma would still like come back and talk to me, and she said, "You always remember how much I love you and how proud I am of you." Like she'd have these little windows. It just, I love that. That's spreading light, and that I'm gonna have to write that quote down. That was beautiful. Thank you, Gordon, for sharing that. Got me to tear up here. Anyway, and okay, so can you name? You have a lot, so this might be a challenge. But I was gonna say, what are your book titles, and how can people connect with you? Should we try to name them all off? Here we go, guys.
Oh my gosh.
We'll see how
Okay.
far we get.
Now, because I'm no longer with my previous publisher, so some of these are not available anymore. But so just off the top of my head, we just republished Sephiroth. The one that came out yesterday is The Communion of Shadows.
Cool.
Which is a ghost story set in Louisiana.
Nice.
There is Signal to Noise. There's Lock and Key, Gears. There's a trilogy about the Black-Eyed Children, which is Lines of Sight, Whistling in the Dark, and Fear No Colors. There's the murder mystery series, which the one that you held up was the first one, Poison the Well, and the other one, and that's a 7-part series. So there's Poison the Well, there's the Dead Letter Office, Past Imperfect, Face Value, Room for Wrath, The Obituary Collector, and Slings and Arrows. That's the Snow series.
I gotta order some more books for my daughter. She loves it.
I don't know if I mentioned Gears. That's another one.
A lot. So you guys are getting.
Oh, that's
you know what, guys? I usually people are like 1 to 3. So you get the award 22. We're gonna have to search it. I'm sure if we search your name, we can find all the books, and let us know. Yes, what is the best way people can connect with you? So we're kind of wrapping this part out. I want to make sure people know how they can buy your books. Where can they get in touch with you?
The easiest way, kind of the one-stop shop, is my website, which is gordonbonnet.com. So it's really, really easy. My last name is French, Bonnet, so 2 N's, 1 T. gordonbonnet.com. And that has links not only to my books, it has links to my blog. If you're curious and want to see Skeptophilia, you can get to it from there. It has links to Pen and Think, which is my mentorship program. And that's all in the header. When you get onto my website, you'll see it's all on the top there, and there's pull down menus. So and there are links to my books in various forms. You can get all my books are out on print and ebook versions. There's a couple of them that are on audiobooks as well. So that's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me.
That's awesome. And my humble friend, I'm going to make sure to spread the word about you. When this episode comes out, you guys, everything's going to be in the links in the description and comments down below, so that it makes it super easy for you to connect with Gordon. And besides just being amazingly humble, kind, and generous, and having published over 22 books, my dear friend also is a really sweet custom sculpting artist. Like, he made this for me. I remember buying this for my birthday. When he put it up, I'm like, I am so having that. I love these colors. So I just had to get a promo so that we can share this on the video. If you're missing it, go to the YouTube, because I have the video on there, and you guys can see the Legacy and Legends podcast. So you can see Gordon and all of his cool epic. I'm gonna have to have you on sometime just to talk about the cool masks and stories in your house. But Gordon, are people ever able to purchase your custom pieces? Do you ever make them for sale if they want to buy some art?
I
Like
do.
I just asked because I had to have it, but
Yeah, I do. I don't officially sell my pottery. I do both wheel thrown pottery and sculptures.
yeah.
And but I certainly have done some things for people and custom pieces and that sort of thing. But I'm not a professional artist. I just do it for fun. If you want to see some of my pottery,
Yeah.
my Instagram, I usually post pictures on Instagram, which is Skygazer227.
Oh, cool.
And so you can just follow me on Instagram. And when I have a kiln firing, I mean, I post lots of other stuff there, mostly pictures of my dogs and gardens. But I also post my pottery there when we have, and we're going to hopefully be firing next week. That's
fun.
yeah,
and you guys just so many cool things. And a lot of people have like images of authors, right? We sit down and we've got our glass of wine and special place and whatever. And we know it's not like that really, like maybe for some dreamy, but maybe you have your own space, you have your cool routine. Do you have any little routine like that? Like before you go to write, what is your scene that people would see if we're trying to like be in your space when you go to write?
I'm an early morning person. I'm up with the dawn, and so first thing I do is get my cup of coffee, and from one of my mugs that I've made, and I come, and you can see behind me, this is my office, and speaking of pottery, I've got sitting on my desk, I've got my Doctor Who paraphernalia.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I made this. It's a ceramic delic.
What? That is awesome.
Fan.
Very cool.
And I've got various pieces around, and I just have lots of artwork, lots of books way behind me. I don't know quite if you can see it. I got my shelf with all of my hundreds and hundreds of CDs because I'm a music fanatic.
Love it.
So yeah, so this is my little space here.
Thank you for letting us in. I mean, I think a lot of people are curious. I think this is going to be such a fun episode to have on the YouTube channel too, because you can see it. Like so many people are so curious about the journey of an author and what is it really like and what do you do? And not only are you a super creative, accomplished author, you're a pretty rad marathon runner. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen a fit author. Like usually you see pictures, it's like they don't want to be seen. And that's what I love is you are a presence when you share your running and your outdoor gardening and your dog and you and your awesome wife and all the cool things you guys do together. It's like, it's such a cool story. You would be really fun for someone to do like a reality show or author piece because it's just neat. Like seriously, how do you get this all done in 22 published books? I feel like lazy now. I'm like 5.
You are the last word I'd ever describe you with is lazy. But yeah, I got to get back out running again. I'm looking forward to spring and get back out and hit the trails again.
Me too.
I live in a great part of the world for running. I live only 5 miles from the national forest.
Oh,
so I just drive right up the road, and there are miles of trails up there.
I always look forward to your pictures. It's so fun. And I feel like, I mean, I guess I see you virtually, but I can't wait to get to meet you in person someday. I hope we get to go to the, when we take and pick up my son. Just because it would be so cool. I know he's talked about working with you too. So how neat. I'm going to get my daughter set up for you with the mentoring for her program. Yeah, and then when my son gets off his mission, I totally want to set him up too, because I just think that'll be fabulous. And everybody, if you haven't believed me before when I've spoken of Gordon, or you've seen my mug, it's been featured like on almost every Legacy and Legends podcast interview and retreat I do. He's totally a person worth knowing. So read his stuff, connect with him, email if you are a budding author and you want to learn how to do it from a pro, from an expert who has literally dedicated his life to this since he was little, like that feeling and the excitement. And he so generously shares with you. I want to encourage you, click on the links down below. You will not regret getting in touch with Gordon. He is awesome, one of my dear friends, and just a generous, all around good guy. So thank you, Gordon, for making the time today to let us into your world and for sharing with us.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thank you, Trina.
You're welcome. Okay. Have a great day, everybody.
Take care.